What's good, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Guys, early doors, if you are in here, I appreciate it. Guys, I legit had such a busy, hectic day. And hey, if you're asking why I'm wearing an Inter Milan jersey, it's just because I like the jersey. Samuel Eto'o, you know what I'm saying? It's always Visca Barca all the time. But listen, Barcelona, the day was hectic, but I seen a lot of our game. Of course, I rewatched the highlights and stuff like that, whatever I missed and stuff like that. Basically, I got a great grasp, obviously, of what went on. And listen, instead of doing how do I say it? Instead of doing a whole reaction video, I thought, the last couple lives were pretty good. So, you know what? I'm gonna just do another live. And tomorrow I'll do the preview, right? And big up to the people in the chat. I'm about to get to your early messages, right? And we'll be having a preview, probably Atletico Madrid in depth, my reasoning for why obviously we got to win that game. But today we are here to talk about Barcelona's big win against Girona, right? 4-1 on the night, and it was a big win. Big up Javier, right? Big up everybody's in the chat right now. Big up Mez, my guy Mez. Of course, we're going to talk about Atletico later on in this live. And yeah, the Inter Milan jersey, it's just because it looks nice. I'll be real. That's really it. But listen, I mean, what can I say, right? Barcelona, we won our game, right? And you know what? Let's start off with the game, right? I feel like Hansi Flick, let's look at that lineup right now because Hansi Flick, he went with this lineup right here. And guys, I can't lie. I woke up and I was looking at my phone and I was questioning a little bit. I can't lie. I was like, Hansi Flick, are you sure, right? Rotating. I've been saying, yo, we have to rotate. Lamine Yamal, Pedri, they can't play every game, right? But those guys, they still stayed in the lineup. The other guys were the guys that got rotated, right? Like Raphinha, apparently before the game, he had a bit of discomfort, right? So, Will, allow it, bro. Allow it, bro. Listen, hey, the thing is, when Bayern beat Inter Milan, when Inter Milan beat Bayern, this is gonna be jokes when I hop on Zier's thing. That's legit. That's part of the reason why I've been wearing it kind of, more often. But back to the game. Listen, I'll talk about Lewandowski later on, right? Hansi Flick. And guys, by the way, like up the dang stream. You know what I'm saying? I did not tell y'all before, but I already know some of you guys are real ones. Y'all already liked it up. You guys are in the chat. But let's get back to the lineup by Hansi Flick, right? So Szczesny, of course, he's starting. He's Hansi Flick's number one. Pena hasn't played in years, bro. It feels like Ronald Araujo and Inigo Martinez, the center back partnership that I've been saying got to start. They started the game, right? Gavi got the start, kind of like the false left winger role, you know what I'm saying? Again, Pedri once again played. Lewandowski, obviously, we'll talk about him. One of his better games, in my opinion. Fermin Lopez got the start. Lamine Yamal, Koundé, Eric Garcia, and Gerard Martin got the start over Alejandro Balde. And that's probably the one that I was really questioning. Are you sure you want to rest Balde against Girona, who I know they've been kind of struggling, 13th in La Liga. They haven't won in their last 5 games or now at least 6 games now in La Liga, right? But do you still want to drop Balde? I was kind of concerned with that. But Gerard Martin actually had a good game. And what I will say is this, right? Before I read the chat once again, is that, listen, I feel like in that first half, it was kind of hard to break down Girona. We were getting a lot of half chances, right? Araujo's header was probably actually our best chance of the game. We scored off of a free kick by Fermin Lopez. Fermin Lopez won the free kick. Lamine Yamal took it. It took another deflection off the Girona player's arm, actually. It wasn't a penalty. Nobody realized it was actually his hand that it went in. But since the call was for us, we got the goal, obviously. And Lamine Yamal, he claimed credit. But then when I watched the replay, I was like, nah, that's definitely an own goal. I wanted Lamine to score because the critics, they be talking about Lamine doesn't score. But I'll be real. Lamine Yamal does so much for the team. Like today, you can see, right? You can see what he's doing. He's legit. Bro, Miguel Gutierrez, one of the best left backs in La Liga, in my opinion, could not guard him, right? And Lamine Yamal, in my opinion, outside of a goal, he hit the post later on. He had a pretty good game. I can't lie. Probably an 8 out of 10 for Lamine. I know he could do better, but I'll take it. Listen, I'm not going to even lie to you guys. Lewandowski. I know a lot of people do want to talk about Lewandowski. It's probably maybe because I criticize Lewandowski, a lot compared to a lot of other Barcelona fans. Today, I feel like this is what happened. Like in the first half, we got to be real. Let's keep talking about the first half. I was questioning, Lewandowski, we cannot lose this game. I remember Lamine Yamal, he cut inside, right? Kind of on the, I would say, the transition, right? And he played in Lewandowski. He shoots with his left foot, and the goalkeeper saves it. And by the way, Girona's goalkeeper was pretty good today. I wouldn't say it's one of those Neuer-esque type of performances that Barcelona have against the La Liga minnows. But what I will say is it was a very solid performance. And when Ronald Araujo's shot got saved, I was like, bro, it cannot be one of those days. It cannot be one of those days, right? But I will say this. We, eventually, I'm not going to lie to you guys, we got our goal through Lamine Yamal's free kick that got deflected. And I feel like that was at a really good time in the game, right before halftime. I mean, what else happened in the first half? Fermin Lopez, he kept on shooting the ball. It looked like Fermin was like eager to score a goal, but I kind of like that with Fermin because that's the type of player that he is. I'll be real. Right? And bro, Mez, don't even tell me about it, bro. Mez, I don't know where you're located, but for me, the game's at 7:15 a.m., right? Like I was up anyway for other reasons. Obviously, it's my holiday, it's Eid, you know what I'm saying? Eid Mubarak to any Muslims in the chat. And if you're not a Muslim, like, hey, big up to you. Hopefully you have a good day anyway, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, the early kickoff, I can't lie. I don't know what's up with Barcelona in these early kickoff games, bro. Like legit, I'm not gonna lie to you. Every single time we have an early kickoff, even when we do win like today, because we won 4-1, it was not the most convincing 4-1. The second half was pretty good, I'll say that, but we started off slow in my opinion. I know a lot of people might say, first half Barcelona, they still got a lot of chances, but I got to say this. We can play better, and we know this. And in the late kickoffs, we often play a lot better. The early kickoff, remember Leganes? Remember against Las Palmas? All these early kickoffs, it's kind of been, a little bit suspect, the early performances, especially in the first half, right? And then we're chasing the game. Listen, I mean, I'll talk about Lewandowski once again. I mean, they talk bad on Lamine because they are jealous of him. I mean, I will say that's part of the reason, but also I will say this, like Lamine Yamal today, even without the goal, okay, he hit the post. And the goalkeeper saved one of his shots, and he scuffed a few. I'm not going to lie to you guys. But let's be real. Lamine Yamal provides so much for the team, bro. Like, just let's name it off, okay? Balance he provides, okay? Outside of balance, that's basic things, by the way. He provides dribbling, chance creation, I'll say vision, right? He's a great playmaker. He gets assists. So they don't even say the GA thing with Lamine Yamal. They only say the G thing. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't get enough goals because they can't say GA because the guy probably has the most assists in La Liga, I'm pretty sure. I think he has like 11 or something like that in the league alone. Lamine Yamal, he gets GA. He just doesn't get G. And once he gets G, not only, you know what I'm saying, does my opinion of him already being the best player in the world look even better, but the rest of the world will start, respecting him because let's be real. Half of these football fans are statisticians. You know what I'm saying? They're wannabe mathematicians. Like, bro, go to school if you want to study math. But if you're trying to compare players based off stats only, that's not football, bro. What's the point of watching the game, right? Bro, I'll be real to you guys. I think that Lamine had a decent game. I'll be so real with you guys, right? But what else happened in the first half? I mean, if I look at this lineup real quick again, I will probably say that these guys, right? Let's be real. Who played good in the first half? I mean, I think that it was a quiet half. I can't lie to you. I think Fermin wanted a goal very badly, but he didn't get it, obviously. I think everybody played decent, but Barcelona definitely were not in gear. Like, you know what I'm saying? They had a couple gears to go. But listen, I feel like we got to talk about first, let's actually talk about Girona, right? They scored a goal, and I feel like it was against the run of play because Girona didn't have that many chances. Let's be real. Girona didn't have that many chances. The goal, they had a couple attacks, but they got quickly stopped by our defense or midfield or somebody was there. Szczesny did not have a busy day today. Let's be real, guys, right? I feel like that Girona's goal, it was just due to an Araujo forced mistake, which Lewandowski couldn't win the ball or at least win the foul. They get the ball back very quickly, and then it's like legit, bro, it's like, how do I say it? Our defense is just open. Araujo is so deep, so everybody's on side, and the gap between him and Inigo is so big. So they have time to play the pass. Danjuma, underrated player, he finishes the ball, you know what I'm saying, in the back of the net, And you can't even blame our goalie because Szczesny, he's been great, right, for us so far. But that was in the bottom corner. What can Szczesny do about that? He can't do anything about that. And it just sucks that Araujo kind of forced that. I can't lie to you guys. Javier says Lamine and Fermin played very good today. Yeah, I think that Fermin, you know what I do like about Fermin, even though it wasn't always coming off for him today, I like Fermin playing with this type of vim or effort. You know what I'm saying? Like this guy, he came in today, Fermin, and although he didn't get his goal, he played like, yo, I'm going to score today regardless. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes that's not good, but I'll take that from Fermin. That's like, I don't rate Fermin like a crazy, crazy level. I think that he's a good player. He can score goals. He's tenacious. He runs a lot. He can pass a bit. I feel like that if his vision got better and also just his overall IQ, I think he could go to the next level, right? But if Fermin has that mentality, like, yo, I'm going to score every single, game, because let's be real, Fermin shot a lot of times this game. So, I mean, listen, that will overall benefit us. He's a good shooter too, so eventually those shots will go in. It didn't go in today, right? Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I will say this. What is Emmanuel saying? I slept over the whole match. See carnage. Realize Barca will win the league. Listen, I mean, there's still a long way to go. I will not lie to you guys, but let's talk about Barcelona's second goal. You know, I feel like it was kind of coming. The result was 1-1 at the time, but let's be real, right? We were the better team, and it was just a matter of time. It wasn't one of those games that, Barcelona, could it be 1-1 and it's going to be one of those days. I feel like we were getting enough chances, right? Every 5 minutes, every 10 minutes, we were getting a decent chance that the goal was coming. It's just that will Lewandowski eventually take it? And credit where credit is due, right? I've criticized Lewandowski, publicly. I feel fairly, to be honest. Some people get upset, but I'm telling you, right? We can call him old. We can call him Unk, right? But let me tell you guys this. Lewandowski, he scored a great goal. I know some people might say it's fugazi. Some people might say it's lucky. Some people might say it's a mid goal. But let's be real. Lewandowski is the king of scoring bad goals. Who cares? Guys, let me tell you guys this. A bicycle kick from half field or a tap-in. A scrappy tap-in with 10 deflections. I'm going to tell you guys this for free. Let me tell you guys this. They both cost the same. One goal is one goal is one goal, right? And Lewandowski, once again, yeah, it might look fugazi, right? Gavi chips in, right? A decent cross. Gavi, I feel like an game. I feel like the last game he played on the weekend, I think again, not the weekend. Osasuna was midweek, right? This was the weekend, but we've had so many games that I got lost. But Gavi puts in a floater cross to the back post to Fermin Lopez, right? And then Fermin Lopez heads it back into space, right? And Lewandowski, I ain't gonna lie, I did not know that Lewandowski can still move like that. I did not know that he could do, like, I don't know, a semi-bicycle. Like, I'll be real. I wouldn't advise, like, if I was Lewandowski's personal trainer or his doctor or anybody medically or physically related to him, I would not say to do that move that he did because he could have pulled something. Like, the guy is 36. He's going to be turning 37, but he pulled up with a big goal for us, And yeah, bro, Javier, we did win 4-1. And listen, game is game. A goal's a goal. Mez, absolute facts. Lewandowski, right? Regardless what I say, right? I'm only saying it performance by performance. I'm criticizing him. But overall, you are right. He did save us so many times. Lewandowski has come up clutch, especially in La Liga specifically, so much. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Like, once again, Lewandowski pulls through with a goal, a big one, and that was the biggest goal. I feel like that once we got Lewandowski's first goal, we are most likely going to win the game, unless if Barcelona once again had a mistake that kind of Araujo and Lewandowski kind of made, and nobody else is able to cover up for it. I was like, unless we make a mistake, we're probably going to win this game at 2-1, right? And to be honest, I felt like the next goal was coming, and Lewandowski eventually did score a goal, and we'll talk about that, but let me see what's up to the chat. Big up, Stop Making Sense. I can't lie. Big up to you, right? Eid Mubarak to you too, man. Javier, Girona looked good in the first 15 minutes of the second half. That's what I'm saying. It was very unexpected that Girona started out the second half so well because we were more dominant, I would say, in the first half. But they got their goal also against the run of play. It was not expected. Nothing was building up. They just got a goal out of nothing because of a forced error from Ronaldo Araujo, I got to say, right? It's a pass that you have to have the perfect way to pass. You got to have, bro, you got to at least take care of that pass from Ronaldo Araujo. And in my opinion, we already know he's not a ball-playing center back. But I will be talking about that later, to be honest. I do have a slide for that. But I will say this, man. Fair play once against Lewandowski, because it's the goal that we need. In the moment, we have to have that goal. You know, a league title. You do not win league titles playing good every single week. You're going to play good maybe half the games, right? 19 out of 38. But it's what do you do in the other 19 games? Do you just lose when you play bad? Or do you draw and do you win games, especially? Because when you win more games, like look at Real Madrid. They're in this title race still, and they have barely played well. They played well maybe 5 games this whole season in La Liga. I'll be so real with you guys, right? But yeah, let's see what the chat's saying before I move on to the next goal, because I feel like that obviously there's still 2 goals to talk about, and then there's still some talking points to subs, Hansi Flick overall, right, and the future, and also some news regarding Raphinha. Listen, I didn't see Casado's haircut. I got to see that maybe during this live. I'll check it out on Twitter. But listen, you're saying we need Nico for rotation. You are right, guys. Games like this where Raphinha, by the way, guys, he had extreme fatigue. It said something like he was suffering from fatigue, and I understand it because, guys, anybody who's played football knows that, you know, after a game, especially with intensity of La Liga, you're going to be tired, bro. And especially when you put in the fact that at least when it's a home game or it's one of these European games, you go after the game to the ice bath or whatever, right? You recover your muscles. But Raphinha came from South America, so he had to rest up, right? Because he didn't get to go in the ice bath or anything like that. He had to go on a plane right away. So, listen, I think Raphinha is going to be fine. He's going to have a couple more days to rest for against Atletico Madrid. Lewandowski scored the 2nd and 3rd goal. Yeah, bro, Lewandowski was clutch today. I can't even lie to you, man. Big up start making sense all the time, bro. Listen, I'll be real, right? I do want to speak about listen, let me go back to this, okay? I want to speak about Lewandowski's 3rd goal, right? Because I feel like that it's a great goal. I'll be so real with you guys. Lewandowski, he finds some space, but let's give credit where credit is due. You know, Ronald Araujo, he finds Frenkie de Jong. Frenkie de Jong dribbles legit half the team, right? He dribbles the length of the pitch, half the pitch, and he makes the correct decision. He saw Ferran Torres, who, by the way, Ferran, good job for making a run, because that made the defender, you know, go to Ferran. 2 of the defenders are moving to Ferran and 1 to Frenkie, which means Lewandowski was left with a lot of space. And Frenkie picks the right pass. And not only that, guess what? It's the perfect weight of pass. And how many times do I have to say this? Why do I credit Lamine Yamal's passing? Because it's not just the precision, it is the weight of pass. Time and time again, Frenkie puts the perfect pass, right, into Lewandowski. He takes his time and he scores a great goal. I'm not going to even lie to you guys. But listen, I did not expect Lewandowski to finish it that you know what I'm saying, that so well. Neville says, big up Neville, by the way. I haven't seen you before, right? He said, I don't think Cabarsi would make a lot of mistakes. Araujo did. Bro, Cabarsi is a much better passing center back. I would admit that. He is a lot better of a passer, right, than Ronald Araujo. But I feel like outside of their goal, I'll be real, that's the thing with Ronald Araujo. He is so good of a defender, but one mistake, right? Like the mistake was kind of similar to the PSG game, right? But instead of getting the red card, we just conceded a goal straight away, which is actually a better result. But Ronald Araujo, I'll be so real with you guys, he's our best defender still. You know, Cabarsi, overall, our best passing center back. Inigo Martinez has, like, I'm not going to lie to you guys, he's low-key been our most consistent center back this season. I know he's not flashy. He's more aging, but he has been, you know, our best center back. I do think Inigo, because Araujo, you know, he started off the season injured, and Cabarsi's form has kind of dipped a little bit. You know, he started off the season so well. I do think Inigo is actually our best center back right now at the moment. I think he's the one that got to start. Araujo, yeah, dude, I think Hansi Flick, he's still adjusting to his system, but I'm not really concerned long term. It's just right now we got to win these games. We cannot be making mistakes like that. Of course, at least we scored 4 goals, so it doesn't really matter. But he's got to learn from it as quick as possible. Especially with Kabarsi coming back from injury. Who do I prefer to sign as a left winger? And big up Mushudu, by the way. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to build up a community, and I'm seeing a couple new faces in here in the chat. So big up to all you guys, man. For me, I said Lookman. I would like Adamola Lookman. I feel like that. Like today, right? We rested. Who is that? Who is it? Raphinha. Raphinha rested today, right? So I feel like that. Raphinha and Yamal. Imagine Yamal was tired, right? We could have played Raphinha on the right, and we can have our new left winger on the left, right? If Yamal's tired. I feel like we need a left winger. I'll probably say Adamola Lookman or Nico Williams, just because as much as I do not rate Nico Williams as highly as other Barca fans do, I do know what he will provide. He's going to provide pace, right? Power, decent dribbling, right? Against low blocks. Like I said, how Lamine Yamal, even on his worst days, he's providing dribbling and balance. Same thing with Nico. Obviously, Lamine Yamal, I feel like, is a better dribbler, and he has more to his game in terms of passing. But Nico Williams will provide a lot to this team, especially under Hansi Flick's system. I feel like that it would really work. Yeah, dude, however your facts, bro. I don't know if Lewandowski, bro. I think Lewandowski definitely, this guy, I'm not going to lie. Lewandowski definitely did proper stretching today because, I'll be real. I've never seen Lewandowski ever stretch like that. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Because I know his goal against Atletico Madrid, right? And I'm saying for us, not when he was at Bayern. His goal against Atletico was kind of stiff volley, but what can I expect, man? The guy is old. He's 36, right? Some people are calling him Uncle Lewandowski, but who cares, bro? He's delivering the goods right now. So, listen, let me just answer the chat, and then I'm going to talk about the rest of the game, right? Because Lewandowski, by the way, that second goal is pure class. Frenkie de Jong, I gave him his props, right? But Lewandowski, what a finish, bro. I'll be real. That goal, the second Lewandowski goal, it killed the game. The first one, I was like, we're most likely going to win. But the second goal that he scored, bro, 3-1, game's over. We're at home. Girona's not even looking that good. And now we're definitely off to the races. What do you think about having both Balde and Gerard Martin? I think in preseason, Hansi Flick's going to evaluate our left backs. I've heard the youngster Joffrey, right, from Juvenile A. I think he's starting to play with Barca Athletic. And then also Alex Valle, right? He's starting. I think he's all on loan. Some people have told me that his loan hasn't been successful, though. So I feel like it's going to be a battle between Gerard Martin, Valle, right, and Joffrey, the youngster. But what I do think will happen, if I'm being real, right, my prediction will probably be Gerard Martin stays for the backup for one more year. I think Valle we're probably going to sell, and I think Joffrey is going to be promoted to Barca Athletic, and they're going to at least make him play 1 year, on the B team before promoting him to the first team. That's what I think, genuinely. You know what I'm saying? Just like how they did with Bernal and a couple other guys like Casado for sure. You know what I'm saying? On the left, I already said Nico or probably Lookman. I'm not going to lie. Lookman would be very good for us. I feel like that Lookman fits the Flick system. The only difference between him and Nico, I feel like, by the way, Lookman's a better player overall in terms of touch, right? I feel like in terms of shooting the ball, right? Passing the ball. But Nico Williams, I will say, he gets past his man more. He's more of an ISO dribbler than Lookman. And also, I will say, Nico Williams, the spin chemistry, I feel like that it will fit better because Nico Williams for Spain is better than Nico Williams for Bilbao, actually, from what I've seen, right? Leao, listen, I would stay away from Leao. I'll be real because the price is not worth it. In my opinion, if you're going to spend over 80 million, buy the striker, right? We spoke about Lewandowski today. I feel like I'm going to have a couple videos out on Lewandowski, his role on the team in the future and everything like that. But I would like, if we're going to spend 80 million, why spend it on Leao? Spend it on Alexander Isak, who I know would fit this Barcelona team and who I know would play so well under Hansi Flick. It would absolutely fit. Isak, Lamine Yamal, Raphinha, potentially, right? Nico on the bench, right? Lewandowski on the bench. That is super solid. I feel like if you're going to spend 80 on Leao, I'm not even so sure Leao 100% bangs out for Barcelona. I think Isak, though, he 100% does. he's a great footballer in total. You know what I'm saying? Jonathan David, I'm cool with him on a free deal if we only go for the left winger and we don't go for a striker. But that's my thing. You know what I'm saying? I was asking about having both Balde. Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, Hansi Flick did play them together, but I don't think Balde long term can do that. I really don't think that Balde long term can be the ISO left winger. Today, right, whenever teams are playing a high line, he can, but I don't think it's the smart decision. I feel like, cool, we're working with what we have, of course, but long term, of course, I want a left winger still. Javier, bro, I hope you're chilling. You know what I'm saying? You're cooking up some food. That's cool. Listen, let's go back to the match reaction. We took a little bit of a break, but I do got to say this, right? Frenkie de Jong, right? He played good. Once again, off the bench, you know, he got his little rest. I've heard that he had discomfort before the game started. Frenkie de Jong, you know what I'm saying? All I can say is he had a solid performance today. Off the bench, he had a super solid performance. You know, the driving with the ball, he has quality. And I think that Frenkie de Jong is slowly but surely getting to his best level again. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't at his best level, in my opinion, when he first started playing under Hansi Flick off that major injury. But now, Frenkie de Jong is kind of playing good in 2025. I cannot lie to you guys. He's not been Pedri level, but he's been very, very solid, right? And I think Frenkie will continue to improve, and we need a sharpness to get up. You know, he was tired today. We can't have that later on because he's actually not been playing as many minutes as Pedri or Lamine Yamal. But I do hope Frenkie, you know, can be more consistent and at the top level too. I got to say Ferran Torres today, once again, Ferran Torres, he scores a goal and he scores a great one. I cannot lie to you guys. Let's talk about the fourth goal, right? Pedri plays in Frenkie de Jong. Frenkie de Jong, once again, he plays it, you know, around the corner to Gerard Martin. And Gerard Martin, you know, today, an underrated performance, by the way, by Gerard Martin, right? He takes a touch, he looks up, and Gerard Martin plays in Ferran. He didn't play in Lewandowski. The way I've played fullback before for, you know what I'm saying, a season or two, right, in my playing days. But what I will say is this. Gerard Martin, he looked for Lewandowski, right? Not Lewandowski. He looked for Ferran Torres. Lewandowski was smart to make the run. Ferran takes a good touch out of his feet, and the second touch is the shot, and it goes in the corner. And Ferran Torres is right now in the life, you know what I'm saying, in the form of his life. Right now, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I've seen Ferran for so many seasons now since the start. Ferran has never had a better season than this one under Hansi Flick. I'm not going to lie to you guys. There was times this summer that I said Ferran should be the guy instead of Raphinha that we're shopping. But Ferran, today, he showed up. And guys, I'm not going to lie to you guys. It might be shark season. I don't know. Like Ferran, he likes to call himself the shark. Bro, the guy is cooking, bro. And guess what? If the shark continues, he can be called that for all I care, bro. I don't care. Just deliver the goods for FC Barcelona, and I'm chilling, right? Ferran, what I will say, though, is that I still think that his best role is off the bench. It is not when he starts games all the time. I feel like that even if he started today, he probably would have been good. But I feel like he plays good when he starts occasionally, but he's mainly a super sub. Ferran Torres is mainly a super sub. And to be honest, what other club, right, has a super sub like Ferran who scores goals? Like, bro, like, let's be real. Like, every 3 games, Ferran, it feels like he scores a goal, right? I think that was his 15th goal for Barcelona. That is super, super solid, man. So speaking about Frenkie, Neville says Frenkie's almost Pedri level. I mean, I wouldn't say he is Pedri level, but I will say that he's maybe just half a tier below. But Frenkie's a top player when he's fully fit. I will not lie to you guys. He is a super top player when he's fully fit. Like today, right? Frenkie was an amazing substitute off the bench. He played so well, right? Ferran has changed his mentality, and it shows. You know what? I do think you're right because Ferran before off the bench, he wasn't like this. Right now, I think he's accepted his role at FC Barcelona and he knows the best way, the most positive impact that he can have on the team is off the bench. So, hey, listen, I mean, nobody expected the consistency, but Ferran is delivering and that's all I care. Angel Correa is a shout, by the way. Mashudu, that is a shout because Angel Correa, I'm not going to lie, he is a very, very good, super sub for Atletico Madrid. He didn't show up in the Champions League, that second leg against Real Madrid. He could have won it for them. But I do hear you. Javier says Ferran, he has 9 GA. Okay, bro, Ferran is 9 GA away. Okay, so Ferran is 9 GA away from Vinny's Ballon d'Or season as a bench player. Listen, the game's the game. Javier, you said it. I didn't. But I know what you're saying. Vinny's Ballon d'Or campaign, it wasn't really that good on the stat sheet. It was more of showing up in big games. But listen, I'm not even here to talk about that. But you are right. Ferran Torres is actually having a phenomenal season for a substitute. It's like almost every single game that he comes off. Like every 2 games off the bench, Ferran Torres is scoring a goal. But I do want to talk about quickly the defense, right? I feel like the defense, right? I have to be real with you guys, right? I do think that the defense actually played well. You guys might be surprised because Ronald Araujo, I know that the goal we conceded, it's technically his pass. Lewandowski couldn't bail him out, right? And you know what happened? Basically, they scored. They went through on goal. Danjuma with a great finish. Chesney couldn't do anything about it. But what I do got to say is outside of that, let's be real, guys. Let's be honest. What did the defense do wrong? I'll be so real with you guys. I feel like the defense played pretty good. I understand they scored their one chance that they got, but that's football. And that's ultimately why you need to score at least 2-3 goals all the time. If you have a good defensive display, 2 goals, you should probably win. 3, you should definitely win, right? And we did the job. So Ronald Araujo's mistake didn't have to be highlighted because I feel like that him and Inigo are actually been a good center back partnership. Let me tell you guys this. Against Benfica, when we got a red card, Cabarsi got sent off. It was Inigo and Araujo and Chesney, to be fair, who played ever so well, right? In the first leg in Portugal. All of them, 10 out of 10 performances, right? The second leg against Benfica, we defended very well. I feel like outside of that one corner kick goal that they had, who Chesney honestly could have saved it, the marking was pretty bad, to be fair. Inigo and Araujo, once again, they played well. And I'm not saying an anti-Cabarsi thing, but what I will say is I do like this partnership for now. And Cabarsi, I think that he's very important, especially against teams that play mid blocks because his passing is so good, and it's like he has that perfect way to pass, the precision, right? But if we're being so real, guys, right? I think when it comes to pure defending, I think Inigo and Araujo right now are our best partnership. I think Cabarsi is a solid defender, but Inigo and Cabarsi, the only problem with that partnership is that what if we play a Kylian Mbappe? And I know what you're going to say. We beat them the first El Clasico without Ronald Araujo for the most part, right? But Inigo and Cabarsi, right? It lacks a lot of pace. Cabarsi, decent pace, right? Inigo, he's an old man. What can I say? But he's playing at a high level. But Araujo is different. That's why I think he's got to start. And Inigo and Cabarsi, I feel like Inigo edges it because of consistency. Cabarsi has the highs. Inigo is just very consistent. And don't worry, Cabarsi will get that eventually. But I do think that this potentially is our best partnership right now. But I want to hear what you guys got to say about that. I mean, I'll get to the chat in a second. But listen, ultimately, guys, I will say this, right? We got our dub, right, against Girona. It is a very big dub, and I'm going to be talking about the treble, legit in like 5 to 10 minutes later in this live, right? But what I will say is this. This was a very, very big win by Hansi Flick, right? We have to talk about Hansi Flick. He rotated somewhat heavily outside of Pedri, outside of Lamine Yamal not getting rested. Basically, everybody else got rested, right? Basically, everybody else besides Lamine Yamal and Pedri are getting rested. And the problem is that they're our best players, but everybody else looks sharp. Everybody else looks decent. And by the way, I really hope Dani Olmo comes back quickly because he's one of our best players, most important. But listen, we got the dub ultimately, right? And that's all that matters. Real Madrid, they got their dub. And guys, I know I'm a Barca fan and I love my good football, but what I will say is this. All that matters right now is getting dubs because if Real Madrid are in this title race only because they keep winning somehow, some way. Fugazi, scrappy, lucky, whatever you call it. Bellingham scores off the crossbar and slides in, a little tap in. It looks super scrappy, but they're winning and they're making us stay honest. We got to stay on our toes. And Barcelona, the only way to defeat this Real Madrid team is to just keep on winning because they keep winning, right? Even if it looks ugly, but we just got to keep winning. And we could be, winning this La Liga. I think that we can win this La Liga, but we will just have to keep on winning. In my opinion, we got to still win our next 4 games in a row in La Liga. All of our next 4 games, all of the last 9 games are must wins. But I would just say the next 4, smaller sample size, right? Game by game, let's take it. But guys, we got to win every single game, basically. We legit have to win out. And we're going to talk about that in like 2 minutes. But let me read the chat. Let me see what you guys are saying. Listen, I mean, bro, Ansu Fati, I don't think that he's going to be playing for the rest of the season because against Osasuna was the game that you guys saw Pablo Torre, right? My guy Pablito, right? He balled out, played that pass to Fermin Lopez to get the assist to Lewandowski, right? And then also you saw Ansu Fati not playing a game that Pau Victor got the substitution. He got subbed into the game instead of Ansu. So I was kind of looking at it from that perspective. I do not think that Ansu is going to play. I'm being so honest. I used to love Ansu as a player. The injuries really done him. But Hansi Flick is not putting him in squad list like a lot of the times. And even when he does, he never touches the field, right? And it just sucks, but it is what it is, guys. I mean, listen, you guys can say we need a right back. I do think that we do need a right back. In my opinion, I would actually not say Frimpong. Let me tell you why. Lamine Yamal is so good that offensively, we don't even really need a right back that's offensive. I would actually get a fullback similar to Koundé, but he's actually a right back he's been playing right back his whole career. I want a right back that has been playing right back, right? And is good defensively, number one. Because I feel like offensively, Lamine Yamal makes Koundé look so good, right? Like today, let's be real, and this whole season, and honestly, even last season, Lamine Yamal and Koundé have this link up. They have chemistry. You can see when Lamine Yamal wastes his passes, Koundé always gets there, right? And when Lamine Yamal does like a little flick, Koundé's always there. And the chemistry between those guys, and Koundé, by the way, is getting assists. I think he has 8 this season. Bro, and he has 3 goals, and a lot of his goals are off of Lamine Yamal passes. So I feel like that Koundé has been very good, but we need a right back that can potentially, if he's playing bad, start over him, and nobody says a word, right? That's what we need. Koundé is deflated. I think that Koundé has been playing so much, and that's legit why we need another right back. Yeah, Koundé is him. He's one of the players that I really like. Like, I do like Koundé. I mean, outside the pitch, he's got the style, he's got the swagger, but I do like how he also is technically competent. Like, I do like his crosses. His crosses are actually underrated. He gets a lot of assists because he knows when to pass and how to pass the ball. It's not like a center back like Araujo playing at right back. The guy can ball. And with Lamine Yamal on his side, it's very easy for him. But I would say we still need a right back for sure. You know what I'm saying? Koundé's pros are his good crossing. He's a good crosser, bro. And his defensive nature. And that's all we need. Technically competent, an engine, and I'll probably say a good defender. That's what we need. I wouldn't actually go for an offensive right back like a Frimpong or if a Trent was linked to us. I just wouldn't because I don't think we need it. Yeah, so Vanderson, I have seen his name, right? Also Ratiu and Muniz, you guys are right. These are the names that we are linked with. Listen, Deco Laporta, that's your job, right? My job is just to pull up and react to Barcelona and talk about the games and the transfer news. But what I will say is Laporta, Deco, get the best possible right back. Legit, watch every Rayo Vallecano game. Watch every what team does Monaco game because Vanderson plays for them. Watch every Crystal Palace game because Muniz plays for them, right? And get the best possible right back available, right? That's what I would say, right? Ratiu, I do like that he's a beast. He's kind of like Fede Valverde at right back, but I don't know what his price would be. I'll be real. But guys, listen, you guys, I see some of you guys in the chat. Big up you guys, by the way, especially if it's the first time in the chat. And also the people that are always here like Javier, right? Big up to all you guys, right? I'm going to keep going, right? I still got a couple things to say. But what I will say is, listen, if you guys love transfer talk, we could talk about this probably on Tuesday. I will be going live probably an hour from this time on Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? I will be probably going live to do a transfer show, right? The day before we play Atletico Madrid. Probably right after the Madrid game, I will be going live. And we'll probably talk about transfers then. So if you guys want to talk about transfers, tune into that show over there. But listen, I haven't scheduled it. And I do want to talk about the treble, guys. Because, guys, I will say this. The treble and I didn't want to say this. It is potentially on, right? The treble is potentially on, guys. Chat, am I crazy when I say that? Like, am I crazy? Because I will say this. Let's go through the history real quick. I have a couple slides left. Bro, we could talk about Barcelona 2015. I remember this Barcelona team, in a way, kind of reminds me of that Barcelona team where we did, right, play so well. Hansi Flick is breaking records of goal scoring for FC Barcelona's history and in La Liga. And keep in mind, he doesn't have Messi. He doesn't have Neymar. He doesn't have Suarez. He doesn't have Iniesta. He doesn't have like Pep Guardiola's team with Busquets and Eto'o. He doesn't have those guys. He doesn't have Xavi, right, in the peak of his powers. But what I will say is this, okay? Listen, let me say this, okay? Bro, our team is actually a good team offensively, talent-wise, and the treble potentially, the Champions League especially, we can win this trophy, but we will have to turn up in the big games. It is not about playing well anymore in this time of the season. Past March, it's all about results, guys. I remember in the 2015 season, the reason why we won the treble in that season and we didn't win in 15-16, because in my opinion, guys, this might be a hot take, but I watched almost every game in 15-16. We were better, in my opinion, footballing wise, eye test wise in 15-16, but we didn't win the treble. And why is that? It is because in 14-15, we won in the big games. Bayern, right? Bayern Munich, right? We beat every team that we faced in the knockout. I think also Juventus in the final and Manchester City in the knockouts, PSG, whoever we faced, big second leg, Messi was there. Neymar was there. Suarez was there. You know, when you needed the most in the final, right? Neymar scores a goal, right? And I will say this, right? This team is a really good team, footballing wise, just like 14-15 and just like 15-16. The difference is with 15-16, although I do think that 15-16 was actually better, I remember more games from 15-16. Personally, just as a spectacle, we didn't win the UCL. Why did we not win the UCL? Because against Atletico Madrid, we did not win, right? And ultimately, I could say the Iniesta handball that wasn't called and all that and this. Ultimately, guys, let me tell you guys this. Nobody cares at the end of the day. When we get to the summer, I don't want to be pointing out the reason why we lost the UCL. The reason why we won in 14-15 and 15-16 is honestly because in the big UCL nights, we just turned up. We were just clinical, right? 15-16 Barca, we destroyed Real Madrid 4-0 at their home. Just like this season, without Messi, right? Suarez and Neymar cooked them. I remember Celta Vigo, one of the most enjoyable games I've ever watched. It was that Messi Suarez penalty that he tapped it. You know what I'm saying? For those viewers that didn't watch that game, I was watching that live. I was like, what madness did Messi just do? He just tapped the penalty to the side. This guy is actually a different breed, bro. Listen, we had so many good games in 15-16. I'm not going to lie to you guys. 15-16, I also remember Neymar. Bro, Neymar, when he went bald that season, Neymar was on something different. Like, I'll be real, they needed to drug test him because the goal against Villarreal that I remember was different. You know what I'm saying? One of the best goals that I ever watched. And also, Suarez. We had a better Suarez in 15-16. And 14-15, he started off more slow. But we still won the treble because he heated up later on. It's all about heating up later on, right? And right now, guys, football is a results-based business, and the results is all that matters. I'm sorry to say it, but it's the truth. We have to win every single game in La Liga if we want to make sure. Maybe we can draw one. Maybe we can draw two if we draw against Real Madrid, right, specifically. But ultimately, we have to win 90% at least. Bro, we have to win 85 to 90% of the games left this season if we want to win a treble, right? And that is tough. But listen, what is the chat saying? Let me read the chat real quick. I'm not going to ignore you guys. Big up, by the way, all you guys that are here. You know what I'm saying? You guys could have been somewhere else, but you guys are here with me, chilling, you know what I'm saying? Talking about Barca, reacting to the game. Listen, bro, I do think the treble is possible, but I do think that we will have to turn up when it matters most, right? In the game against Dortmund, the second leg, in a potential semifinal against this club right here, Inter Milan. And I promise I will not be wearing this jersey when we play them, right? what I will say is this, okay? So Mez is saying is exactly, I don't want to be in the summer regretting our mistakes in April and May. Absolute facts, bro. I'm not trying to be in the summer, right? Come summertime, when we're talking about transfers, and I'm like, okay, it was Araujo's mistake. Oh no, the referee, this will happen. I mean, listen, I could tell the Real Madrid fans, the Chelsea fans, the Bayern fans, the Atletico Madrid fans, the Arsenal fans, whatever the reason was why we didn't win the Champions League or La Liga. But what I will say is this. I'm not trying to have that reason. I'd rather just win the tournament, you know what I'm saying, and celebrate. And the only way to do it is just to win. Listen, Neville, you say a good comment. The team that plays better football wins. I will say this. This is true for the league and only the league. I'll be real, Neville, because I love good football. They call me aesthetics merchant. And I don't care, bro. I'm a Barca fan. I grew up on good football. I grew up on Messi and Neymar balling out. I grew up on party football. Legit, I remember commentators saying, is this a football ground or is it a circus? Bro, listen, I remember Neymar doing rainbows against Celta Vigo when we're up 5-1, 6-1. You know what I'm saying? I remember Messi legit Messi used to put guys on the deck like for fun. I'm not even joking. Messi's fake shot. People talk about Dembele's fake shot. Messi's fake shot was different, guys. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I seen some great moments from Luis Suarez, right? I seen some guys, some proper guys, even guys like Philip Coutinho in our tier list ranking that we did the other day. Let's be real, guys. He had moments against Man United. A great goal. I've seen quality, right? Neville says, losing doesn't mean that you play well. It's because you weren't better than the other team. I mean, I will say this: you can play better than a team, but it doesn't guarantee if you're not clinical that you win the game, right? In La Liga, I will be real, guys. Let's move it on, right? Let's speak about what is the highest chance of trophy that we win: La Liga, Copa del Rey, or the Champions League? Because in my opinion, if I had to, and guys, chat, I don't know, guys. To be honest, if I was to rank it, I would probably go UCL is definitely the toughest. Then, in my opinion, I will say the Copa del Rey is the second toughest, actually. And I would say La Liga is probably actually, it sounds crazy to say because there's still 9 games left. There's still a game away at Bilbao. We have a game in El Clasico. I do think La Liga is still the toughest tournament to win. I mean, the easiest tournament for us to win because the UCL we haven't won. So it's automatically, right? Bro, we haven't won it for so long. I was way younger when we won the UCL. I think that's the toughest trophy easily. I think the Copa del Rey is going to be very tough because Atletico, if we beat them midweek, I think we will, by the way, right? Little spoiler, I do think we will win, right? I will be doing a preview that will be dropping tomorrow around this time, right? A video. Check that out when that releases. But what I will say, right? Bro, Atletico Madrid, bro, it's 4-4, right? It's basically 0-0. We got to win that game. And it's going to be a tough game. Last time we beat them in the same stadium at their home, but we're going to have to do it again. We got to legit do it again. And I know Atletico, they're going to try to make amends, but Lamine Yamal, Lewandowski today was clutch. Raphinha, I'm going to need you guys. One game. Put me in that final, and we don't have to worry about the Copa del Rey for legit another month and a half until it's the day to play the final, right? Against probably Real Madrid. Let's be real, guys. They got Sociedad. They're up and they're tied. Listen, let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. However, you're saying La Liga. Bro, I do think La Liga. I'm going to be real. I know 9 games left. I'm not saying we'll win La Liga. We obviously have the best position to win La Liga, but we do got to turn up in La Liga. Still, 9 games left. That's still a lot of games left. But I got to be honest with you guys. If I'm ranking the 3 competitions, UCL is the hardest. Copa del Rey is the second hardest right now because we got Atletico. Had we have a team like, I don't know, maybe a team like Girona, right? And the Copa del Rey, I would have ranked that first. But it's the second toughest for me. And I do think La Liga is slightly easier than the Copa del Rey, even though we only have 2 games left potentially in the Copa del Rey, right? Hopefully, right? And hopefully we win all these competitions. I will say this, okay? Mez is saying that's why Barcelona have been dominating La Liga these past 20 years. Yeah, ultimately, this is the thing. We play good football. We play the best football, and that rewards us usually in the league. That's why Barcelona, look at the last 16, 17 years. We've racked up league titles, guys. I grew up on Barcelona. I remember the stat. in Messi's era, guys, I remember, you know what I used to tell Madrid fans? We won 8 out of the last 11 La Ligas. We run Spain. You know what I'm saying? You guys might nick a UCL or two, right? But, I couldn't keep saying that with the 3P and all that. But it is true. The facts are the facts, right? We won 8 out of 11 La Ligas at one point. And obviously, a large part of that is having Lionel Messi, in my opinion, the best player ever, right? At your club. But what I got to say is this. Bro, the league rewards you for playing well typically, over the course of 38 games. In a UCL, no, because 15-16, we would have won that. In 18-19, another year, we could have won that. So the UCL, that's 2 years off the bat. 2012 is another one. 3 years that I just named that we were legitimately a force in Europe and we didn't win the UCL. There's some years that we've been like I feel like that 16-17, we were kind of and we lost to Juventus, right? Real Madrid won the league that season. But 2012, right? Bro, 2016, 2019, those 3 years we had UCL big chances to win the UCL. We were a dominant team. People were saying Barcelona were favorites easily, right? And we didn't come through, and it's because we have to win. Guys, ultimately, I love playing football. Once again, they call me a good football merchant. You know what I'm saying? A baller merchant. What is a baller merchant, bro? I'm trying to see good football. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to see Lamine Yamal and Raphinha score a goal or two. You know what I'm saying? Do some nutmegs and celebrate. I want to see what Balde and Lamine Yamal got set up. You know what I'm saying? How do I say it? They got recorded before. You know what I'm saying? I want to see what Lamine Yamal is going to celebrate. Dani Olmo's this. I want to see this. You know what I'm saying? What's Lamine Yamal's celebration? It's like 304 or something. I'm trying to see all of that. I'll be real, right? But ultimately, we're going to turn up. We got to turn up. Yeah, bro, Mess, it's basically a 0-0 game. Emmanuel says, can't wait for the El Clasico final in the Copa del Rey. Ultimately, this is the thing, Emmanuel. We're still not in the final, and I still got to respect Atletico. I know they're in poor form right now, and I will be dropping that preview, but you still got to respect them. Like, guys, we're still away from home. It's not going to be an easy game. I really doubt that it'll be an easy game. Simeone, one of the best man managers, hasn't always won the trophies, but he knows how to rile his players up and get up for a game, and they're going to try their best to stop Barcelona from reaching the final. I hope we can win the Copa with the deep runs Atletico make. Listen, I'll be real. Griezmann, Neville. I think Griezmann and Alvarez are going to be very, very tough to stop. But I do think that we can win that trophy. I really do. Yeah, we could have won it last year, but this year I feel super strong about winning it if we get to the final against Real Madrid, because we've had Real Madrid's number this year. I know I don't want to see them in a UCL final. I don't know about that. That is high stakes, high tension. The bragging rights are through the roof, right? Whoever loses that game, whoever wins. But in a Copa del Rey final, the stakes are not as high as a UCL final. I will take that. I would absolutely take that because, I mean, if you guaranteed me a spot in the Copa del Rey final, I'm taking that 10 times out of 10. Emmanuel says, Ronaldo played in many European leagues, but Messi still has more La Liga titles than Ronaldo in Europe. Let me just say this. Bro, Messi owned La Liga. Messi won 8 out of 11 at a point. And with Ronaldo in the league, the 9 years that Ronaldo was in the league, Messi won 6 out of 9. You know, Atletico won 1, and Ronaldo had won 2 league titles. So I'll be real, 6 versus 2, right? I know who my GOAT is, right? But I will be real with you guys. I'm not trying to talk about the GOAT debate. That can go all day, even though we know who the answer is. You know what I'm saying? Lionel Messi. But, guys, I do want to talk about La Liga. I do think that we still got a couple more tough games, right? I do think that Atletico Madrid, we don't got to play them anymore, at least in La Liga. But we got Bilbao last game of the season. That might be very, very tricky. We still got a lot of minnows to be played. We got Real Madrid, right? I think we got Villarreal also, if I'm not mistaken. We still got a lot of games in La Liga. It is not a consensus that we win it. Same with the UCL, right? I got to say this. The UCL, I do think we have a great chance to make the semifinals and even the final. But let's just stay humble, right? Shout out to my guy, Erling Haaland. By the way, I hope he gets healthy. He got injured today. But I do got to say this, right? Bro, in the UCL, we got a decent shot, right, to go to the final. Bro, the draw couldn't have been better for us. We played Benfica. We beat them convincingly, in my opinion, right? 4-1 or 4-2 in aggregate? I forgot, right? 4-1, right? Barcelona, they got Borussia Dortmund. And I feel like with Raphinha, with Lamine Yamal, with Lewandowski, Dani Olmo hopefully fit by then, Pedri obviously balling out, and with a stable defense, we can go past Dortmund for sure. We do have enough. We have Hansi Flick, who's had Dortmund's number at Bayern Munich. I think we got a great squad, guys, and I think we have a great chance to go to the semis. The semis, don't get me wrong, I don't want to even get ahead of myself and talk about Inter or Bayern, but Barcelona need to focus on Dortmund because we do got a shot in the Champions League to win. But listen, ultimately, the gist of the rest of the season, bro, you guys are gonna hear me say this a lot. It might sound repetitive. Obviously, game to game will be different, right? The tone, how we played, the performance, right? But ultimately, guys, Barcelona, Hansi Flick will have to keep on riling up these players, right? And we just have to keep on winning. There's nothing else I could say. If I said anything else, guys, I'll be so real with you guys. If I say anything else, I feel like I'm being delusional. I feel like I'm lying, right? We got to win every single game left. Bro, listen, La Liga, every game is like a final. Ferran Torres, shout out. He said that, right? And Ferran, he's been balling out. Maybe Ferran's mentality has changed. But what I will say, guys, we got to turn up in every single game. Listen, I'm going to share my screen, probably the last thing that I will do. But, guys, I'll be real. If you guys don't get the gist of the season, we just got to keep on winning, right? I don't know if you guys can see it. Hold up. Yeah, I think you guys can see it now. But listen, guys, look at this, okay? So, to recap today's game, right? We won 4-1, right? We got one goal, led at halftime 1-0. Lewandowski got his brace in the second half. Danjuma scored. If we're looking at the stats for the statisticians, right? Expected goals, it's a bit flawed, but accurate at the same time. I feel like it's super flawed with penalties, but sometimes it is flawed. But also, a lot of the times when there are no penalties in a game, it kind of tells you what kind of happened in this game. Girona, they've only had one big chance. And you know what? It says that. Big chances, Barcelona had 3. In my opinion, that is about accurate, right? Lewandowski's one definitely was. I feel like that. I got to say, probably Lewandowski's goal, the other one, they probably count as a big chance also. But I do think that Barcelona definitely had the better chances of the game. We probably had 8, 9 chances. Probably 2 or 3 were good chances. And we were clinical, right? I do think this is the last thing I wanted to see. So, this is what FootMob's saying. I don't really care about Szczesny, right? Szczesny, decent game. Araujo, I do think it's a little too high. Defended well, but made one mistake. Inigo, solid. Gerard Martin, solid. Koundé, solid. Alejandro Balde, when he came on, solid, right? Eric Garcia. That is a cameo. Solid. That's all I need from Eric. Just give me solid performances when you play. Do not make the team lose, right? And play decent for the most part. As long as Eric and Gavi, the guys who I do not rate highly to win his games, but if they can give me hustle, if they can pass good at least, Fermin, Pedri, Lamine, Lewandowski, Raphinha off the bench, Dani Olmo when he comes back, you got enough quality to win the game. I'm not going to lie to you guys, right? Ferran Torres off the bench. Girona, obviously, outside of Danjuma's goal, and Gazzaniga, by the way, he played pretty well. I will say, Hansi Flick outcoached Michel, right? Michel didn't have much to do, even on his bench, really only poured 2. Stuani, man, we call Lewandowski Unk. What is Stuani, bro? He's been Unk for like 10 years now. I'm not going to lie to you guys. But Stuani was a baller back in his day. But listen, regarding the table, let's check out the table real quick. This is my only concern. And I'll probably be making a video later on, like the truth, something about La Liga. A video about La Liga will probably be coming out soon. So make sure to stay tuned and have post notifications on. Check out your settings if it's not on already. But listen, let's look at La Liga, right? Barcelona, I think we won 8 in a row in La Liga. Next up, we got Real Betis in the league once again at home. But my only concern is that our defense is basically as good as Real Madrid on the stat sheet. We've scored way more goals. Our goal difference is way better, right? 82 goals scored compared to 62. We scored 20 more, right? In the same amount of matches. Our goal difference is plus 21. We've actually conceded one less than Real Madrid thus far, right? The only problem with Real Madrid, the only thing that is comparable between us is that the points. And guess what? Sadly, the points is all that matters. The points is all that matters. And although we must, I have to admit it, guys, we are way better than Real Madrid by the eye test also. But the points, Real Madrid are only 3 off of us. They play Valencia next. I don't expect them to drop points. So what does that mean for our team? We just got to keep on winning, right? It's kind of annoying when I'm not going to lie, on all fronts, we've been the better team than Real Madrid, except for points, which tells me they're winning a lot of scrappy games. It's not a lot of blowouts, right? They've had a couple, but not many, right? Barcelona, they got a lot of blowouts, but they get some close losses right earlier in the season, November, December. And if we didn't have that rough area, we would have been easily 10 points clear, I could say without doubt. But listen, it's still a title race. We still have to respect Real Madrid. They can sadly still win this league for as bad as they've played for the majority of the season, right? Barcelona will have to keep on winning. They cannot, draw points. They have to win. And Real Betis, they've actually been in kind of form. They've been in form, guys. They've got Isco. My guy said Isco is suspended versus Barca. Listen, that is big, big news because Isco has been very, very good, for Real Betis. They got Anthony. I don't know if he's healthy or fit. I haven't seen them really too much, but Anthony's playing very well for Real Betis. So Barcelona, listen, guys, I'm not going to lie to you guys. Bro, the season, it's real, bro. The season gets real. Guys, we're in a title race. It's officially title race time. Once it hits match week 28, that is the title race. When the countdown is to 10. 10 games left, now 9, and after Real Betis, it'll be 8, right? And guys, it legit gets real. What can I say? But listen, man, I'm not going to lie. I wasn't even supposed to be live too long. Obviously, I got a holiday to celebrate still with the family, right? But since yesterday, you guys wanted me to go live, right? Instead of doing like a YouTube short or something because I wasn't going to do anything, big up to my followers because all of you guys basically gave me that little push to go live. You know what I'm saying? And I can't ignore that. If the streets want to live, I will be going live. So big up to all you guys who push for it and all of you guys that are actually here. You know what I'm saying? Because I appreciate everything, right? All the time when I'm seeing the active chat, I'm seeing Catalan, I'm seeing Neville, I'm seeing Emmanuel, I'm seeing Javier, I'm seeing Mez, whoever is there, right? Bro, big up to all you guys. Stop making sense, right? Bro, listen, smash up the likes if you're watching on the playback after this is done recording, right? But listen, tomorrow, right? Stay on the lookout. I'm probably going to be releasing the preview Atletico Madrid tomorrow pretty early on, I know, but it's because your boy is very busy, right? Watch along. Atletico, there will be a watch along. So if you're trying to watch the game, see my Insta reaction, and just chill overall, ask me some transfer questions or any questions regarding Barcelona, right? Hansi Flick, Lamine, whatever it is, right? Bro, be on the watch along because it's legit a chill sesh, you know what I'm saying? And watching Barcelona cook teams, you know what I'm saying? But listen, treble on the horizon. That's why I said could Barcelona win the treble. If we get past Dortmund and if we get past Atletico Madrid midweek, guys, the treble is potentially on. Will we win it? I don't know, but it's on. Right now, it's still, you know what I'm saying? But once we get past Dortmund, hopefully, God willing, right? Bro, the treble's on it. Hopefully, we beat Atletico, God willing, too. But listen, guys, that's it for me today. I will be dropping a video. I'll be going live on Thursday and watch along on Wednesday. Reaction. It's going to be a busy week, right? And your boy's going to be providing a lot of quality content. So make sure to be on the lookout. And I will see y'all in the next one. Thank you guys for joining.